I'm Zara Shoe-Smith. I'm the project manager for Who Dares Works. And Who Dares Works is an ESF and a community lottery funded project helping individuals in the west of our county. So we're at the YMCA in Penzance today, and with one of our partners, Patrick, who runs Wild Art Therapy, and basically he uses stone sculpting as a way to kind of escape your everyday problems, give something new a try, and while you're having that respite from what might be a bad day, you're thinking clearly, feeling better about yourself, and generally puts you in a better place.
It's great. The people that have turned up are very engaging. They're very keen to have a go. It's a really good opportunity. So yeah. Sometimes people can be a bit nervous about starting something new, but it's about being open-minded and just having a go.
Anybody paint? Yeah, that's not rollers on the wall. That's sort of yeah. So when we paint, when we create, we use certain techniques to help to make our painting work. Colour is one thing that we use. Tone is another thing that we use of a colour. Something else called perspective is another thing that an artist might use to make a painting work. Now in sculpture, with your blocks here, generally speaking in stone, there is only one colour. There might be slight variations if you're using marble or another, there might be little variations. So, 3 things to bear in mind when we're sculpting, and that's right from your block that you're doing now, your introduction, right up to Michelangelo's David. And the first thing is the shape. Right, I'm Patrick McWilliam, and I have a community interest company called Wild Art. And Wild Art started, I had a service career for over 20 years and left in not great shape mentally. And working and creating things really helped me to overcome some issues that I had. So I started offering it to other people in sculpture and sculpting in stone in particular. And that's how we, so many veterans that I started with initially, guys and girls who were struggling with their mental health. And Wild Art was formed, and it's kind of grown from that. And we offer courses to different organisations, Help for Heroes, Who Dares Works. Individuals can approach me, and I will tailor a course to suit the individuals and if it's an organisation, what they want to get out of that course.
What we found is, kind of at the end of last year, with COVID and lockdowns and things like that, people were still feeling very anxious and nervous about coming out and actually taking full advantage of the wonderful support that's on offer with Who Dares Works. So this is just one of many kind of taster sessions using our partners that we've decided to do to give everybody, come and try before you buy almost, come and see what it's about, see if you like it, and then hopefully we'll be able to fill this course up, which already we've got a full course coming up. So and we're taking a reserve list as we speak.
I always introduce it as something creative to try out, but I think it helps people relax and take their mind off maybe their everyday worries. Maybe they, we have people at various levels doing maybe job search or maybe looking at training or just trying tasters. And this is just an opportunity to try something new. Yeah, try something new and get creative. And it's a sense of achievement. If they try something and they have something to take away with them, then they've achieved something and hopefully relaxed and enjoyed it at the same time. Yeah.
Shadow. The deeper that Carol goes, and if I tilt this block, we've got the light coming from these skylights. And when the block is facing up towards those skylights, there are little bits of shadow created by the texture that I'm going to come on to in a minute. Watch as I tilt this block down. Can you see bits of shadow starting to appear? They should appear under the eyebrows and where the bridge of the nose is, and perhaps under the mouth.
So basically what I see in people is that confidence. They come, they think, gosh, how am I going to do this? I've never done stone sculpting. Even if they've been creative in other ways, this is something completely new. But actually to show and demonstrate that just with a bit of effort and a little bit of coaching from Patrick, you can really produce something wonderful. Really gives a good confidence boost.
Often people who come will say, I'm not creative. I hear that a lot, but actually we're all creative. We all have an element of creativity inside us. We just express it differently. Some people might express it in dance or music or writing or painting or in sculpture, and it's expressed in a different way. And we start off with a block and then we take away all the bits that we want to get rid of and we're left with a piece of art. As opposed to another form of sculpture where you start with nothing and you build it up, perhaps in clay or some other material. And the benefits, certainly when we're creating, we really engage with something. And I'm going to tell these guys in a minute that we've been working for an hour and they'll be, whoa, surely not. Time just flies, so it engages the mind. And if somebody has been struggling with mental health issues, and I guess at the moment it's a big topic with COVID, people getting anxious, people separated, isolation. When we engage in creativity, it's a liberating thing, it's an absorbing thing. And when you create something of beauty, you have a product. Now, we're working in a space now with 6 people. And the courses I run, generally, they can vary. They can just be a day or they can run for 6 days. And then friendships build because these sculptures now are just in the grey block, but we work in Portland stone as well. And when they're working in Portland, it's a much harder stone to it. I say harder in terms of not difficult, but hard as a material. And people start to bounce ideas off each other because they're doing different things. I'm less prescriptive with what I get them to do. And then those friendships form. And when those friendships form, I don't believe we were created to live in isolation. We were created to live together with other people and interact. So that's a huge, huge benefit of these courses. The last thing is texture. The texture here, where the block hasn't been touched, is very different from the texture here, because you get little pockets of shadow. There's a very famous sculptor, his name was Auguste Rodin. Now Rodin's work, incredible. Many, many, many pieces. And I suppose two of the most popular ones was The Thinker and The Kiss. The Kiss. Now when Rodin worked, he worked in all sorts of materials. He worked in bronze, but he worked in stone. And when you look at The Thinker and The Kiss, the base of the block is very rough, just as it came out of the ground. Not quite as it came out of the ground, but certainly really rough. And then you get this transition from a rough piece of stone into beautiful smooth. The foot in The Thinker. Okay, so we can use textures to make things stand out or draw our attention to something. Something that's smooth, your eye will be drawn to it. And a rough, textured-y background can be a nice backdrop for it.
My name's Nina, and I think I'm resolving anger issues here. No, it's a fantastic opportunity to just lose yourself in, here's what you got to do, here's your time, you've got to do it, this is what you got to work with, off you go. And at home, I would never do that because there's always like that bit behind the cooker that needs cleaning or the stairs that need hoovering. So it was wonderful to come to a separate place and just, you know, let all the stuff out.
I'm Catherine. I'm here to do the taster course on sculpturing. Didn't know what to expect and got given a block that now looks like a monster. And it's really, I've been in isolation for quite a while and COVID hit bad for my mental health, so I thought I'd give this a go and it gets me a chance to beat the heck out of something.
Hello, I'm Carol. I've come along to the Wild Art sculpture course. I'm finding it really good, really interesting. After COVID, I've been very isolated, so it's really nice to be with other people and doing something productive. It makes you forget yourself and forget your problems, just get immersed in what you're doing.
Yeah, it takes me out of myself, you know. I live on my own, which I'm quite okay with, but it's nice to meet some new people. I've met some lovely ladies this morning, and hopefully I get to go to another course soon. But it's fully booked, so I'm prepared to wait because it's good fun.
Yeah, I miss having a creative outlet is the reality. I used to do a lot of stuff, not just here, Truro, all over Cornwall and the Southwest years ago. In the golden days of arts funding, you're probably too young to remember that, but it was a thing, and so it's a fantastic opportunity to just do something creative and fun that isn't just like drudgery, you know, get off the hamster wheel for a bit.
It's open to people on the Who Dares Works programme, and it's open to anyone that is interested in having a go. Sometimes people could come from a creative background and think it might be something to try out, to look at as either a hobby or an interest that they could take further, you know, maybe do it as part of their self-employment, you know, that could be an option for people that it really takes off for.
I mean, there's lots and lots of examples on Who Dares Works of various things, but I know some of the participants that have been on Patrick's Wild Art course actually was commissioned to produce a stone sculpture that's now outside Trellisk Hospital. So yeah, so it kind of encapsulates the NHS and how we had our arms around Cornwall and keeping everyone safe during the pandemic. So that was a really proud moment for some of the participants that had gone through to have that on, you know, out in Trellisk.
Yes, I've had a couple of people that are very creative, very arty, never done sculpting with stone before, but when they tried it out, they absolutely excelled at it, loved it, couldn't do it enough. So that was really great because they went on to get the tools, do it from home, got some advice from Patrick, who runs the Wild Art Studio, and they're actually, you know, doing it as a self-employment. Yeah.
Yeah, so all they need to do, we're on social media. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Who Dares Works, and all the contact details are there. Just send us a little message and we'll get back to you, and we'll take it from there.
Just to try it out, you know, even if it's something to help them relax, something sociable, creative, even just to try it out, you know, that's the idea, that you give it a go and see what you think. Yeah.
Give it a go. What have you got to lose? It doesn't cost you anything, and you might, I mean, the sculptures you create on a course, they're yours to keep. It could be the starting point or a real change in your life.